All right, guys, how y'all doing today? Welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Finally got the Guitar Kit World 7-string jazz box complete. Okay, so everything's complete about it but one thing, and that's the player. And I'm horrible, and put me on a 7-string is like putting me in charge of a nuclear submarine. It's just not gonna happen. This is a beautiful guitar. So demoing it right now, we just got it finished. It's just finished. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? It's gorgeous, right? So let's go over a little bit about this guitar, because I know a lot of you are attracted to the looks of this guitar, and as was I. So Billy from Guitar Kit World sent this out to me, and I was really impressed. I wanted to build a jazz guitar. I've never had a 7-string, and I said, well, let's try a 7-string. And the first thing you notice about this guitar is this incredible action. And I wish I could take credit for certain things, but I got to tell you, the neck fit into this neck pocket so nice, and it was just a matter of a slight truss rod adjustment and getting the bridge height right, and it was there. The hardest thing that I had to do to this guitar was the nut. The nut needed to be filed a bit to get the strings to sit where they should properly. And that's really easy. And we might do an episode on how easy that really is, and a common household tool that everyone has. That's right, everyone, even your mother, that you can use to do your frets. Or not to do your nut. Isn't that crazy? So we'll do an episode and we'll go over some really cool building techniques and workarounds and stuff like that. We'll try that sometime, and I'll make a list, and we can go down through of some of the weird stuff that I do that works, that comes out of necessity. So anyhow, I took some liberties with this guitar. We'll start at the bottom. So let's start with the finish. So what I did is this is actually a black finish that I put on. And then I use some mineral spirits to thin it, and it gives me a beautiful, antique look. And then if you guys watch the video of me finishing this guitar, you'll know how I did that light stripe in the center, that fade. And you'll know how I highlighted the F-holes here, and how the binding on this guitar is not scraped. That's right, not scraped, in this beautiful white, smooth, gorgeous binding. There's ways to do that, and if you watch those videos, you'll find out those ways. And what I did is I finished the side in a cherry and the back in a worn cherry, and that's the look I wanted. And the neck is just your maple finish. It does have gold locking tuners with one silver tuner on it. We'll get to that in a second. Pickups in this thing are non-microphonic, which is a good thing, especially being a hollow body. And they're for a 7-string. So things for a 7-string, things you might not think of. If you're thinking about getting into a 7-string, don't think you're just going to change pickups and pop whatever you want in there. No, because you need proper pickups. They need to be 7-string pickups. They're a different size. They're a different shape. And the strings have to pass over the poles. So, yeah, they make them, and you can get them. But what I found is, man, you're limited on color and stuff. Like, if you want to have I can't surprise there's not more manufacturers that are doing, 7-string pickup rings that are at least a different color. But from what I could tell, I couldn't find much out there, because I wanted to go with a gold or a cream ring on this, or maybe even a gold pickup themselves. Just wasn't happening. Now, the bridge and tailpiece, however, you can find, although I couldn't find any in gold. I did find a roller bridge and a tailpiece in silver, and I think I found one in nickel also. So we may go with nickel on that one down the road. I did put some authentic Gibson witch hats on it, and they look good. And then what you're seeing here, this poker chip, doesn't come with a poker chip. It's just a standard spin nut that goes on there and holds it down. I happen to have a Gibson Flying V pick guard that's OEM with the poker chip, and what I did is I drilled out the poker chip a little bit, fit this, and screwed it in. I thought it set it off quite nicely. And then we'll move up. We're going to move up to the fretboard, ebony fretboard with abalone inlays. I don't know if you can see that or not. And beautifully done. The fretwork on this thing, I wish I could take credit for that too, but honestly, it was very little I had to do to the frets because they're super nice. And it's just goes to show the quality of Guitar Kit World once again. Sometimes and there's things that you would think that you wouldn't have to do that you have to do, and other things that you don't. That, like I said, the neck fit in the neck pocket beautifully. The alignment was beautiful. You couldn't ask for better. The height was right, the set was right, the angle was right. So everything was good to go there. And as you can see, we got the binding runs right down the side of the neck and right up the headstock and around. Beautiful. Nice truss rod cover. I believe they changed the design of the truss rod covers. You won't be getting this 2-screw style if you order one of these. And I still have to finish this, so this is going to get destrung again because I have to do another couple coats of lacquer on the face of this headstock because we have our Fulton Street Beats Jazz Box logo on the headstock. And you're going to see the outline of that because there's no lacquer over it, but I'm going to get that up to the camera so you can take a peek at that. Pretty cool, right? And here's those Geikers. There you are. And you can see the abalone in the neck. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. It sounds beautiful, but I can't demo it. I'm working on something for you, but I got to learn some things because 7 strings totally different. I can do scales, but they're not proper scales from what I can tell. They just sound. It's just different because your tuning on these are different. And there's different various ways you can tune these guitars. So I've been experimenting with some jazz. And I'm going to bring that to you soon, I hope. But I don't want to make a total fool of myself like I usually do. So this is it. I did put D'Addario strings on here, and that's the two things that this kit falls short on, of course, are strings, like all kits do, and the tuners. The tuners that come with the kit, while they will serve the purpose, I do suggest an upgrade. Everything else suffices. The electronics are great. They're stable. The pots they're 500K pots. They fade in and out nicely. They are small size pots. They're not the large pots. But it's a beautiful, and it is mahogany, by the way. It's mahogany plywood. And that's what you're going to get with a hollow body. And this is considered a hollow body because basically the only wood you have in this is basically your little block here that holds your bridge and your tailpiece. And then I don't know, I'm not sure about the side. I can't really see inside of the soundboard, or it's got a soundboard in it or what, but I will tell you the guitar sings. And it's got a beautiful, it's got an arc back and an arc top, and it's thick. It's very thick. I don't think I have my ruler here. We would measure it. I do not. It's over at my workbench over there, and I am not getting up to get it because I have to unwind some cords to do that. So let's get to the tuners, like we were talking. The tuners. I went with Geiger lockers, like I always do, because I think for the money, Geiger locking tuners are the best bang for the buck. I have never had an issue with them. I think they are outstanding. The plating on them is impeccable. They always work for me. So I had 6. Of course, it's a 7-string. I ordered another set of gold, and then, of course, I'm going to have 5 because I couldn't find Geiger's 7-string sets. So I ended up using 1 silver one on this one, on your low string. And that's funny because what gave me the thing is I was like, okay, I got to wait for a tuner. I'll run a black one until it comes. And then I was watching Star Wars and I watched C-3PO. And then when you notice that he has a silver lower leg, I go, you know what? We're going to use gold and silver. Boom. It's going on the low string. And what's funny now is because as I've been kind of working on some things for you guys, I'm always looking down and I'm always trying to tune this bottom string to a different tuning. What do you want it at? Do you want it at A? What do you want it at? So it's quick. It's a quick sight. Look down, grab it, not touch. Have you ever looked down, think you grab the right tuner and go to tune and you shit, it's not doing nothing. Oh, I'm on the wrong tuner. I don't do that with this. Oh, silver, I'm right to it. So it's kind of cool. And one of those things that kind kind of works. So I don't think I'm going to put a gold tuner on it. I kind of am digging it this way. So adjustments I had to do with this was a very slight adjustment of the truss rod once the wood was acclimated to my environment, simply to get rid of any fret buzz. This action, thanks to Donner with their guitars sends, that must be over there too, their little action setup thing, and I have a metal one, but I've been using them, usually I do it by feel. But I started using their ruler, and it works really well. This is set up to spec, and it is a beautiful, beautiful action. And I wish I could take the credit for it, but the fretwork was already done, so I can't. I really can't. I wish I could, but how much fretwork did I actually do on this guitar? Let me count. This much. I had to polish them. That was it. Polish them and condition the fretboard. That's all I did to the fretboard. That's it. Finishing this guitar was a breeze. You can go as far as you want. You could go fancy colors, whatever. I wanted to make it old school looking, something. I wanted it to look like something from the, early 50s. And I think I've pulled that off. Initially I was going to piss Gibson off and put a Gibson logo on it, but I didn't, but I did do part of it here. But then I put my logo up top. It's just a jazz box, Fulton Street Beats jazz box logo. I like it. I dig it. I think it looks good. And there's plenty of other guitars that I have that I put Gibson logos on just to make people angry. And when you can get a reaction out of people out of a word or a font, it's really funny to me. So I kind of laugh. So haters are gonna hate, but it's funny. We all know that it's not real. So, but if they lose sleep over it, then my job is done. But anyhow, so this is it. This kit ran $329, I believe, maybe more. But is it worth it? Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Especially what makes it worth it. What makes a guitar kit worth it is the satisfaction of doing it yourself and being so proud of it when you're finished. Especially when you take your time and you have an incredible playing guitar, like, well, a few of them that I have now. They're just incredible playing. And then when you go to your guitar store and you grab one off of the rack, off of the wall, and you grab it and you play it and you go, that doesn't play anything like the ones I built. Mine are set up way better. Well, that's because you put all of your hard work and your love into it. And that's why I like inexpensive guitars, because to me, setting them up is the fun of it. And I mean, if you're paying a few $100 for a guitar and you're expecting it to play like a $2,000-$3,000 guitar out of the box, it's usually not going to happen. It's not. But some of them now play really, really good out of the box. Like the Donner we just got, an outstanding playing guitar. It needs some little bit of fretwork on the edges. Had some fret sprout on the sides, but other than that, beautiful guitar. Sound, you could play that on an album. You put that on, nobody's going to say, oh, that guy's playing a Donner, listen to how shitty it sounds. No, they're not going to know the difference. That guitar sounds really, really good. And every time I hear it, I go, holy shit, that sounds good. And it plays nice. I still have not did the frets. Maybe we'll do a video filing the sides of those frets down for you. But I mean, if you can get these guitars at Firefly, I mean, you can't knock a Fire. These people who knock Firefly and say, oh, Firefly's, you know what? They're idiots. I'm just going to say it. They're idiots. They got too much bloody money and they like to buy high-end stuff as a status, factor because, well, they probably got no friends. We'll just say it. And I'm not knocking high-end stuff. I mean, if you want to buy a high-end guitar, you go right ahead, all power to you. But don't knock stuff that is surely awesome just because it's inexpensive, especially when you can take that inexpensive guitar and make it play better than a very expensive guitar with minimal effort. To me, that is that's intelligence doing something like that, not throwing money away, especially when you got kids and a wife and everything else and priorities, so we gotta make sure we set our priorities straight. guitars are a priority to me. Okay. Don't tell my wife that, but they are a priority to me. But they're not as much of a priority to me as my children and as my wife. So on that note, guys, please hit like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. If you want to see more of this jazz box and see it in action, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're going to be doing something with it here. I'm working on a few things. Hopefully I can pull it off. But this guy who sucks at playing guitar is doing the best he can to make everybody happy. I'll talk to you later, guys.